Alright everybody, this is rebelfrak, and I just wanted to give a brief introduction to this next video series. This is about the Independent Public Tribunal to investigate the killing of Oscar Grant. It took place on March 4th at the Allen Temple Baptist Church here in the Bay Area. It was basically put on and hosted by, or it was put together by a national organization called BAMN, which is an acronym for By Any Means Necessary. And the event was hosted by the national president of BAMN, Shanta Driver. She's an attorney and an activist. And what they established at this tribunal is that Oscar Grant was indeed murdered, that Johannes Messerly did not make a mistake when he pulled his sidearm and shot Oscar Grant. They also established that there is a cover-up by the Alameda County prosecutor, Tom Orloff, who they say intends to let the ex-BART officer, Johannes Messerly, go free. At the tribunal, they're going to give you a detailed analysis of the cell phone footage, which shows clearly, one, it shows that there was no mistake involved whatsoever when Messerly pulls his sidearm. You also see several civil rights violations and even aggravated, if not felony, assault committed by Messerly and his senior officer, Officer Perron, against Oscar Grant and the other individuals that were with him. And at the tribunal, there's also, they have the family members. His aunt, Tracy Cooper, is there. She gives a little background about Oscar Grant, and there's a slideshow with just pictures of him and his family. His uncle is there. He gives a speech, and also the father of the other two young men, Jack Bryson, he speaks. And they also have another family whose son was beaten to death by the Oakland police, the family Montoya. They're there and they get to speak. Now I'm going to give you the website for BAMN so that you can check out the video for yourself in its entirety. That's www.bamn.com. The video is about 120 minutes. So what I'm going to give you is just a few parts. I'm going to offer you the opening address by Shanta Driver. I'm also going to provide footage of the analysis that she gives about the cell phone footage, which they've got two different angles of the incident, and there are parts in it that I had never seen. So I found that to be pretty informative. So you know, if again, if you want to see the whole thing, you know, go onto their website and check it out. And they also, she offers pretty clear information, which she says confirms that there is a cover-up in place by the prosecutor, you know, Alameda County prosecutor Tom Orloff. And the prosecutor is the individual who is going to be, well, prosecuting Officer Messerly. So in one sense, you could say that he's going to be working on behalf of Oscar Grant and his family. That's technically, that would be how it's set up. But she gives a pretty good argument to show that Orloff will more than likely pretty much work, I don't know a better way to say it, but in cahoots with the defense team to basically let him go free. And that confirms, you know, what a few other news sources have said also. But so those are I'm going to just show you those clips of it, but it's 120 minutes, so, or a little longer than 120 minutes. But right here, what they're giving the opening prayer right now, and Shanta Driver is going to come up and she's going to give the opening address, and that's going to be the first. It's going to be the rest of this clip, so it's about maybe 4 or 5 minutes, and then I'm going to put the rest of that on part 2, and then part 3 will be the analysis of the cell phone footage and the information that she gives about the prosecuting attorney Tom Orloff. So please feel free to send me any commentaries, your opinion on this, if you think it's credible, or if you think it's, I don't know, if you don't agree with it, just why not, or if so, why, because this is, like I said, this is going to get pretty heated, and that's one of the things that I said in my commentary about the autopsy, was that there's going to be a smear campaign. And so she pretty much confirms a little bit of what I said. But, okay, Shanta Driver.
Allen Temple Baptist Church, and in particular Dr. Tasco, for making this first independent community tribunal on the death of Oscar Grant possible. In the next month, it is going to be our job, the people in this room and those that agree with us but who could not be here tonight, to win justice for Oscar Grant. That is not something that is certain or guaranteed. It's something that we're going to have to work hard to achieve. Over the course of the last 25 years, there have been more than 2,000 killings by the police. Of those killings, including killings of people like Sean Bell, shot 41 times the day before his wedding, unarmed, shot so many times that the police that shot him had to reload their weapons and continue to shoot him. People who were killed in that manner had police who were charged. They had witnesses who saw the events. And yet and still, there's not been, with the exception of one case, a single instant of police being charged and convicted with murder. Over and over again. No matter how good the evidence, no matter how good the witnesses, no matter how egregious the crime, the police have repeatedly been able to get away with murder. Our intention in holding this tribunal today is to make sure that in this case, that in the death of Oscar Grant, the police who shot him, Officer Meserly, who held the gun, and you will see him struggle to get that gun out of his holster to shoot someone who was unarmed, who was lying face down on the ground, whose arms were behind his back. We want to make sure that Meserly is charged with murder, that he is brought to justice, that he is placed in jail, so that an example is set. So that an example is set in this community that can be a guideline, a guidepost for the rest of the nation about how to organize to achieve justice. I'm from Detroit. The one time that policemen murdered somebody and were put in jail was in Detroit. It was a man named Malice Green. He was beaten to death by two white policemen named Budson and Nevers. We did a campaign in Detroit that included a community tribunal like this. We worked with the family who were offered $6 million to settle the case before the criminal trial ever began, and they refused to accept the settlement, and in refusing to accept the settlement, they made clear to the people of Detroit and the people across the nation, justice